level M, list 1, day 1, and in these words we're using the double E for the long E sound in beer, dear, peer, steer, cheer, sheer, sneer, queer. Then we've got 2 common words that you'll often see and need to be able to spell, so you'll often want to use these. We've got after and together, both ending with the ER. So we'll have a look at those in a little bit more detail. Now all these double E for the long E sound all have an R after them, so you may want to choose another colour and go through and highlight that R at the end of each of these words. Like that. Then you may like to choose another colour to go back, and let's look at some of the other things that we're revising. So we've got CH making the ch sound, SH making the sh sound, and QU making the qu sound in those. Now let's go back and have a look at what these words mean. So beer is something you might drink. You might drink ginger beer or just a normal beer. Deer is a type of animal like a reindeer. Peer means you're friends, or you can peer means to look at something. A steer is a young bull, and you can steer a boat or a car with a steering wheel. Cheer is when you support or barrack or cheer for a group or for someone to win. So you might clap, applaud, yell, sing a song. Sheer means either thin or pure. So you might say, oh, it was pure luck that I won the race. Or you might also describe something like thin curtains as sheer curtains. It means very thin. Sneer is like a mocking smile that you might give someone. So queer used to mean unusual. After means is the opposite to before. So before someone might have been a bit lazy and fat, and then they do lots of exercise and they get lots of muscles afterwards. Together means when you're doing something with someone else, or you put things together. So it means more than one thing that you've joined with another. Okay, let's read the word sound words and spell them. So we've got beer, B-E-R, B-E-E-R, 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 B-E-E-R. You can choose whether you say double E or E-E in these words. This is level M, list 1, and we're doing the day 2 page, and our words are beer, dear, peer, steer, cheer, sheer, sneer, queer, after, and together. So if you have a look at these words, we've got the double E plus the R in each of these, so you need to colour that. And then when you get down here, we've got after and together ending with the ER. So apart from that, we've got the CH in cheer, which should be fairly easy, the SH in sheer, the QU, always remember you must put a U after a Q, and then you've got the TH again in together. So 2 is a long vowel sound, so you only got one consonant after it, etc. Okay, let's have a look at what these words mean. Beer is something you would drink, so you have ginger beer. Deer is like a reindeer, it's an animal. Peer is to look at something, or it could be a friend. Steer is either to steer a car to drive it, to make it go in the direction that you want it to, or a young male bull. Cheer is to shout and applaud and encourage a team or a player to do well. Sheer means either very thin, or a sheer drop would mean a very steep drop. Sneer is when you give a smirking smile to someone. Queer means when you feel a little bit or see something unusual. After means after an event. The opposite would be before, so it means it happened once something was over. Together means it's pairing up with something else. So let's read and sound and spell and write these words. So we've got beer, B-E-R, B-E-E-R. Cover it and write it. You can do the rest of those on your own. Then we've got read and fill each gap with a list word. The climbers were very keen to scale the something, cliff, something. The climbers were very keen to scale the sheer cliff together. You can read and fill in those spaces on your own. Down the bottom, write a list word that means later than. You can work out the rest of those. Down here you have to use these words in a sentence. You've got dear meaning the animal. Dear as a nice way of saying something to someone, like dear grandma if you're writing a letter. Sheer means very thin, and this shear means when you shear a sheep. This is level M, list 1, and we're doing the day 3 page, and our words have double E in them for the long E sound, and we've also got a couple of most common words in there as well. So we've got B-E-R, beer, dear, peer, steer, cheer, sheer, sneer, queer, after, together. So you can see here we've got the ER making that sound at the end. Quite often we give that a schwat sound, after, together, but we know we write ER for that sound. Here we're adding the R to the double E to get that ear sound happening. And let's have a look at other things that we've got in these words. We've got the CH for the ch sound, SH for the sh sound, QU for the quit sound. After that, A is making its broad sound R. You could say after if you found that easier. Don't forget together has got that TH in the middle of it. Now on this work page, because we're doing the word extensions, always remember to write the base word and then add your other bits on. So if you're adding all to the start of a word, A-L-L, you would drop one L and only add A-L to it. You're not putting two L's for all when you add it to a word. Same with full. If you add full to the end of a word, you're dropping one L. So you're just writing one L. The ly is added if you want to change it into an adverb. Now, so if you've got a word ending in Y, or you want it to end in an E sound, you may add a Y. Then if you want it to be ly at the end, it's usually just ly, not ley. And if you want to add it, change the Y to an I and add ly, you have to remember to change that. You're only going to change Y to an I if there's a consonant before that Y. Full ly, well, because you're adding the ly as well, so you've got two suffixes that you're adding, you have to have the L here and you have to have an L here as well. So you are going to have a double L there, but there's different reasons. It's not full with two L's, we're breaking it up into the suffix full, FUL, and the suffix ly. Then we've got verb families here where we typically add an S, an ED and an ING to show the verb used in its different tense forms. So let's go back and read the word, sound the word and spell the word. So we've got beer, B-E-R, B-E-E-R. If you want to, you can also say B-double-E-R. Whatever you find easier, then cover it and write the word. And you can finish those on your own. Now here you've got to combine a list word with these words. So something leader, something noon, and all something. You can work out what those missing words might make to make up a new word. Now here we're making some more new words by adding the suffixes or the prefixes to the start of words. So cheerily, steerable. So I've told you whether to add or take away letters to form those words. You can follow those instructions. Then you have to choose any two of these words to write them in a sentence in their extended form. Down here you've got your verb families where you've got the base word, you're adding the S, you're adding the ing, and you're adding the ed to the end of them. Plural, these are dear and beer are nouns, so to make them mean more than one, we can add an S to the end of it, but the plural of deer is deer. So it's just like the plural of sheep is sheep. You don't say, I saw lots of deers, you say, I saw lots of deer. Or I caught a lot of fish. Fish is another one where we're not doing anything to the end of it. It's just the plural and singular form will be the same. Find the small words in together. There's some little words hidden inside that. And put in alphabetical order. You should have done a fair bit of this now, but you find that quite easy. This is list 1, day 4, and we're doing helping verbs. So every sentence must have a verb. So a sentence it has to have a subject and a verb. And if we're going to use a helping verb, it's going to help this verb. It's going to give us a little bit more information about the verb. It's going to tell us a little bit more about the tense or the certainty of what happens. So every sentence must have a verb. Some of these verbs may need an accompanying verb to help it. Subject, helping verb, verb. Helping verbs may help create the tense. They're called auxiliary verbs. Or they indicate the level of necessity or certainty. They're called modal verbs. So let's have a look at some of them. We've got is, am, are, be, been, being, can, could, do, does, did, the cheer squad here. The cheer squad were training for our performance. So were is the helping verb there. On the other side we've got have, has, had, may, must, might, should, shall, was, will, were, would. They're all helping verbs. They go with a verb to give us more information about the verb, to help it. So fill in the blank with 2 helping verbs. The football game, something, something, held at the new stadium. Okay, so we've got to use some of the words in these little pom-pom things up here. So the football game will be held at the new stadium. So it's giving more information to the verb. Down the bottom, you have to create your own sentences using these helping verbs. So you've got being, past tense, or being, which is now. He is being good today, but yesterday he had been naughty or something. Is, are, so is for the singular, are is for a group, so he is or they are, and does and did. You can work out a good sentence for all of those for me.